My mother had always worked part-time, so we were used to my mum working, that what used to, tying with children coming in and out to school. It was only me and my brother anyway. And when the crisp factory opened, I can't remember who was one of the first to go over, but literally within months or so, Rose, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All the women in our close, regardless of circumstances, they never worked or whatever, the children were really little, whatever, went. Because the money was, 3 times as much as what they knew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, shift work, 6-2, 2-10. But because of the communities at the time and where we all were brought up, plus the husbands had to help out, coming in from work, minding children, making teas, whatever, when they were on 210. It worked. There was no neglected children. There was nobody. And within no time, we were lucky, me and Rossi. I say, we were. Her mum and dad always worked. My mother and father always worked. So we had really nice houses at the time. Nice bit of life we had. But some of them didn't. They didn't have much at all. We were within no time. It was like a big competition, wasn't it, Rose?
Yeah.
Who had, getting a new 3-piece suite. We're getting fitted carpets. Because nobody had fitted carpets then, had square and that. And they become very affluent, these people. It started going the hairdressers.
Because of the crispy factory.
Because of the crispy. But the life at the crispy opened a new world to all these women as well, including my mother, who was, she was like me, she was sociable, etc., but she was not, she wasn't a woman of the world, if you know what I mean. Of course she went, and there was all kinds of types there. And, my mum was never one for dirty jokes or anything, and all her life, anything like that, no, taboo. And it was just another world, because they were a mixed people, there was like really rough types, and then there were just ordinary women like my mum and going to work to, get the money. And after a while, my mum got in with a gang. I can only say a gang, women who got to know each other besides the neighbours. And they'd arranged to go to, they used to go to Scotland every year to the tattoo. And some of them women had never been in hotels and whatever. And it was something that was like wonderful to them, you know what I mean? It was, I can't imagine what we'd think now, because it's just...
So the crispy opened up
a whole new world.
It wasn't only money, it was social life, plus the canteen, as from what I can remember years ago, and when I first started working there, they used to have like, I don't know what you'd call it, like a dance, a social get-together. And they used to get somebody in, they used to get this fella playing on an organ and all that. They'll be singing and dancing, they'll be set a bar up. And, of course, it was from here to, like, over there we lived. Walk over there, you know what I mean?
So handy.
It was handy.
And did you increase your shifts, or did you not need to on that?
No, you did either at the time. I think afterwards, all things changed afterwards, because then it went to night shifts, and it was a 24-hour thing going on.
But it was full-time work, wasn't it?
Oh, it was full-time work. Oh, there was no part-time work at the time. No, you worked full-time, 6-2, 2-10. Anyway, when I was about 17, I used to work in Liverpool in George Henry Lee's. And with getting the train and everything, it was, the trains never used to come. I was always late for work. There was a lot of things going on. And my mum said to me, there's a job going in the lab at the Crispy. You'd worked in there before me, haven't you?
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I went for a so-called interview. It was in the days where it was cut and dry, really. You had the job before you walked in because of your mum.
As long as you fit in.
Your auntie, and they knew about you.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. And I started working in the lab, where it was a doddle, really. We were the young ones, we were the mini skirts and all that performance. And I worked with some older women that was always tut about everything that went on, But
thing was, in those days, though it was only the men or the boys that had day release to further your education.
Yeah.
They didn't offer it to the women in the lab, in the Crispy.
No.
They did in some of the big firms.
Yeah.
You could. It didn't. They didn't discriminate. But the Crispy, it was only the lads that got the day
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, we just did the same job.
Did
week
the same
in, week
job
out.
and everything, but it was only the men, boys,
But-
that got day release.
Because of the firm at the time, Golden Wonder, when they'd set up the crisp factory originally, we had a lot of, well, most of the people that come down to actually not build the factory but set it up with all machinery and everything was all Scottish fellas, wasn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a Scottish company? No.
I think it was originally.
I don't know whether it was a Scottish company or whether they were
Yeah,
employed. The machines were
yeah. I know
possibly
it had a lot
Scottish
to
origin.
do with Scotland at the time, but whether it was... Of course, these fellas come down, they had the time of their lives, didn't they? Asking us out and everything. And I know my mum was going to flatten... I won't name him. He's dead now anyway. But,
Yes.
he used to ask me, my mum used to say to him, she's too young for you, not going out with him. That was it, finished. So I never went out with him. But we was friendly with a lot of, you know, and my boss, Mr. Williams. Do you remember Mr. Williams? Oh, he was a huge man. Beard. Used to walk in and everybody would be running, oh, all frightened of Mr. Williams. And he took a shine to me. I think probably because I was just a young girl working in there, you know. And of course, on the 6-2, half the time we were falling asleep and everything. And we used to have this, I don't know what it was called. It was, you put crisps on the top and it had like a burner, and you had to time before it went brown. And I was asleep there on 10 years old. And they all knew I was. We were on different things. And I'm like this. And apparently he stood behind me for a while. And then all of a sudden he just...
They used to
went,
test the sugar content, I think.
yeah, something like that. Put his arm on my shoulders and just said to me, "Are you asleep, Catherine?" I went, "No, not now." And he just... he thought it was so funny. And went off. And they were all like looking at me as though to say, if that would have been us, we would have been in that office now, you know. But there was a lot
How
of...
did it come to an end? Did you work there till it closed?
No, I didn't work there. Like, I got pregnant with Cheryl, my first daughter. Went back for a while. And what we used to do, my mum was on B shift and I was on A shift. The B shift was supposed to be the night shift. It was more... because the carryings on that went in that place was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. You just took it in your stride. I'll tell you a bit about that. But when I'd had Cheryl, what we used to do, my mum would go on 6-2, obviously. I'd go down and we'd pass the baby over. We'd take the baby, and everybody was doing it. We'd all go into the cloakrooms and all. Everybody come out, oh, give us the baby. The baby'd go in the factory and up to the offices and...
Yeah,
it was fine. There was no health and safety there. Nobody bothered. But it was like it was a happy place and relaxing. There was no tension with us. I mean, there was a lot of sexual tension in the place. The carryings on was, I mean, because I was only young. This is at the very beginning when I first went there. I knew they'd been carrying on before because Mum used to tell us stuff. And when we were on 210, we used to go up to the U-Tree pub, which is, there's the crisp factory, up the road, there's our house, up the road slightly, there's this massive big pub. Of course we'd go up, you know, it was great, we wouldn't even drink. I used to be always with Betty. So we'd go in and we'd get a pop or whatever. And then all this shuffling used to start. And at the beginning we were, you know, I mean, it was time when you were thick about a lot of things. They were all meeting their boyfriends. All the married women were meeting the married men, all the whatever. And they were going off for a while, and then they'd tell their husband they'd been in the U-Tree till 11 o'clock, or 11. No, they hadn't. As soon as 10 o'clock, they'd gone off wherever. I've been at the Crispy when men have come down and battered the wives outside of the Crispy, hasn't there? The fighting that's gone on, and a lot of marriages broke up because of the carrying on. But
When it actually closed, was it?
Yeah.
Was it the same? No, it
Was there a great sadness? I mean, were there a lot of local people out to work?
I would know about that is my friend Margaret at the time, John, her husband, worked there till the day it closed, and he was a shop steward. But unfortunately, I mean, we've talked about it in the past, and obviously, because he was shop steward, I mean, I did shop steward at one time where I worked. You sort of believe in what you're doing at the time. But they were always taking them out on strike. Drop of a hat, you were out on strike. They'd take you out. And that didn't go on so much when my mum first worked there, and I worked there till I had Cheryl in 1968 and 69, say I left there in 1970. But after that, it became very militant, and people would literally, I mean, God knows how they used to work it, but you were allowed so many weeks off where you'd get sick money, and then you wouldn't get the sick money, whatever, you're so long. And they used to work it so they would get all this sick money, regardless of what, was nothing up with you. They were always putting claims in then for things that hadn't happened even in work, half of it. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. And the company was getting onto them and must have thought, right, we've had enough. But by that time, they had 3 shifts. So it was a 24-hour
Production
ongoing,
line.
yes. I just think it was too much.
Sort of be peeled.
Yeah.
Like an electric peeler or
Yeah.
huge size, sort of peeled and washed.
Yeah.
Then they'd go through.
And then the next stage, it'd be where they'd actually cook them. Well, the fella that was on there, they were called the cooks. And they were like the gods in the place, wasn't
they cooked the crisps.
They were, honestly, all the women, they'd be all faffing around them. And
But they were sliced, they'd go through the fat and they'd cook. And that's where the lab used to take their samples.
yeah. And then we'd
of
have
the
to
cooked
pick
crisps.
us off. Yeah.
And then they'd have people like your mum or somebody working in the either side of the conveyor belt picking off any black ones or anything that didn't look right. They should go through to the factory.
Yeah.
And it was a totally different area then, where they went up on a conveyor belt,
And did they bag them as
down
well?
on a chute.
They went to the...
In these days, did they have the little blue salt in?
No, that was
we
Smith's.
didn't do that.
Ah,
They come down then, like into chutes, into these huge machines that the women would run these.
Yeah, it was like in a hopper,
work
and then it was a cylinder of the plastic bag, and it'd be weighed.
Yeah,
A certain amount of crisps would be weighed and then cut.
Yeah.
Weighed and cut, and the machines would do all that.
And then there'd be a belt
But
going
before
down
it
with
come
women
through-
packing them.
Yeah, before it went through, that's where the salt or the flavours
Flavours.
went.
right.
And then to
Oh,
go
yeah.
through to the packing area.
Like
Yeah,
prawn
used-
flavour or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
then you used to pack
But
them.
one of the things as well was, say, with the social side of it and everything else that went on, we had an absolutely huge, you can imagine with all the women that worked in there, what do you call it?
Changing room.
Yeah, when you went in,
Yeah.
and you'd have your locker and all that, and hang your coat up and whatever. And it was like a marketplace. Because when you went in, there was catalogues
Yeah.
all over the place. There'd be a pen and a bit of paper, so you'd like go in and you'd I'll have that, put that, what shift. And that was this, and literally the next time you went in, there'd be a parcel with your name on or whatever. Everybody was quite... not much thieving went on that. The
No,
thieving went on in the factory.
Everybody was
but
in the
not-
same boat. It was really...
It was good like that. And you'd go in and there'd be people that'd have you'd come in with a big bag and they'd say, hey, I've got some smashing baby stuff. Must have gone to warehouses or wherever. They'd put them all out. Oh, you'd go home with tons of stuff. People had come in jewellery, all kinds of stuff, wherever. Could get anything in there. Anything at all.